On this video, I'm going to talk to you about a couple of things on this left-hand side, one of them called tracks and one of them called groups. The area of tracks is where we can show and hide tracks that we're working on. Right now, we only have 4 tracks that are built into this edit window, so it's easy to work with them and to see them. Every now and then we'll build to one, we'll have 16, 24, maybe more tracks in a row, and it's hard to follow them. Yes, you can scroll up and down the sides, you can scroll across at the bottom. However, sometimes you want to see just a certain group and focus on them. You're allowed to do that here in tracks. So for example, I have condenser and dynamic. Notice they're grayed when I click on them. These are identified here with these dots. If the gray dot is there, the dark gray dot, then it's visible. If I go back over here and click that gray dot, it goes to a grayed out gray dot, and when you do that, it disappears. Notice I only have 3 tracks now. Even if I'm focused here, this one is still grayed out, so it's not visible. Click that again, and it pops back in. You can hide all of them. No reason to do that necessarily unless you're mastering a track, perhaps. Or you can see just the ones you want to. Another thing that this whole left side lets you do is group things together. Currently, we have a group called all. When this is gray, all the functions you do with volume and a couple other areas stay together. For example, here, if I click the volume and I change it, notice below everything is changing. They're all changing. That can be handy certain times, but not always. Sometimes I want to do just 2 instruments or maybe the drums by themselves. In this case, I'm going to do the 2 guitars with a condenser mic and a dynamic mic. I want to group them so that when I change their volume, they work well. Maybe the mix between the 2 instruments is just where I want it to be and I don't want to move them separately anymore. I want them to move together. Click on this down arrow. It will give me a new group. I'm going to call this guitars. I want it to be in the edit window, the mix window, both of them at the same time. And notice I have condenser, mat, master, and then this one is in the group. Sometimes things are automatically added over there. If I don't want them, I can click on something that's in this group and remove it. And now notice the group is completely empty. This is what's available, and this is what's in it. Now I'll click condenser, and I can either hit add, or I can click dynamic and double click it. It will do the same. Now notice they're in this group. At this point, I just click OK, and notice it's down here in this group section. They're both grayed out. If I click on guitars, now watch what happens with your volume here and here. I change one, it changes the other. As soon as I take it off of group, I can change one by itself. Handy little tool to make things happen. Let me show you one other quick thing that's something worth reminding. Zooming in and out of tools, or in and out of the tracks, can be cumbersome. If we use the command and the brackets, you can go in and out. But there's also this tool I learned recently. If you click on this little A down here, groups focus, but then if you go over here, the same A through Z over there, it's an edit keyboard focus. Now it activates certain individual keys to do things you want them to. Now if I hit my T, it will zoom out. Hit my R, it zooms in. Just a handy way to do things. You don't have to have this active, but if you do, it gives you some more shortcuts to work with.